Hey, lovely. Quick question. Have you ever pictured yourself gliding barefoot down a sandy aisle, the ocean glistening in the distance, a soft sea breeze gently tousling your hair, feeling content and chilled while surrounded by your favourite people? Sounds perfect. Right up until someone forgets the sunscreen, your nan gets heat stroke, and that gentle breeze turns into a storm force gale that rips your floral display clean off your ceremony arch while simultaneously trying to steal your marriage certificate. Trust me, I have watched a few too many signing tables take flight and dealt with more windswept hair than I can count, and seen wedding parties do the hot sand hop when it's way warmer, so much warmer than what was forecast. There is nothing wrong with having a beach wedding, but what you need to come to terms with is that you have next to no control on anything in that setting. Because here's the real secret: the most amazing beach weddings aren't the ones where nothing went wrong, because they're fictional. The really great, amazing beach weddings are the ones where the couple had prepared as much as they possibly could and then accepted that a few surprises were coming and chose to laugh, breathe, and roll with it. So today I'm going to chat through the not so glamorous but absolutely manageable realities of beach ceremonies and all my best tips for sidestepping high tide, dehydration, and sandfly bitten limbs. Ready? Let's get stuck into it. Unbridely is a community of pro-wedding vendors who believe in freedom and integrity in weddings, giving you options, solutions, tips and tricks to create the experience and memories that you and your fiancé really want and deserve. Because we believe that weddings are a team sport. With how-tos, stories and interviews with recently married couples, we find out what went right and what they'd change if they could go back and do it all over again. I'm Camille, and welcome to the Unbridely podcast. I've got 9 main points to get through here, so let's just, let's not muck around, mate. Let's go straight in. Number 1, choose the perfect place at the perfect time. As perfect as you can get, at least. Where and when will you get married? You might have a short list. You might think that this place is beautiful, a bit private. That place has got really good access, maybe for the older guests who might be coming. Get your short list and then check your tide charts early so your aisle doesn't become a swimming lane mid-ceremony. You need to scout your chosen spot and suss it out there. You might have this short list, but you also need to make sure, is there enough space here? Is it relatively flat? How far is it from where your guests and vendors will arrive? I've seen beach weddings where everyone, the guests, the vendors, trekked a marathon across hot sand only to discover their patch was being lapped with a little bit of water by the time the vows started. Try to find an easily accessible location with preferably wind protection, like a bit of a cove. A patch of grass on the esplanade is great because then everyone doesn't have to go down to the sand, or a shaded boardwalk, anything. And a bonus tip, decide if you want a public vibe, think random dog walkers or toddlers on an adventure, usually pants down, or to apply for exclusive use, if that's even possible where you are. Where I am, you can't do it, but I'm certain there must be different places, different little private beaches that people can, find out about, maybe hire for exclusive use. If that's what you want, that's what you need to go for. They're the kind of extremes that you need to take to have this private moment just with you, your fiancé, maybe some guests as well. Okay, so you've got your spot, your perfect spot, as perfect as it's going to get. Number 2, get permission. Get council permission if it's a public space, of course. So reach out to the local council to sort permits for the space, the area, sometimes access, sometimes you need permits to be able to put up arbors, umbrellas, marquees. You can't have them for yourself. You can go there They will let you go there, that's fine, but they can't guarantee that anyone else will be coming along and using your space. One of the most recent weddings that I did was on a very popular beach here in Adelaide, and the planner had arranged for the seaweed to be sort of pushed to one side, and we've got this little landing almost, and there was access from where the guests and the couple were about to arrive. Space for the vendors, of course, to be able to bring stuff onto the beach and set it up. So it was pretty good. But by the time I arrived to start setting up for the ceremony, there was another couple and all their guests right there in our spot getting married. So unless someone is camping out there, and then you'd have to, I don't know what you're going to do, beat people off with a stick. Like it doesn't work. So yeah, this other couple went, wow, what a great space. This is brilliant. Set up there. And we had to move further down the beach, further towards beachgoers who are out there with towels and they're having a big day out and things like that. So it's something that you need to come to terms with. The council permission side is one thing, but yeah, as I said previously, coming to terms with the general public being right there in your wedding ceremony space. So here in Australia, every council has different rules and regulations about the use of their beaches. And so I would assume it's pretty much the same anywhere else in the world. Your local council could potentially have rules about using weights to weigh down any sort of decorations or arbors, any plinths, things like that, that you might want to use to put some floral arrangements on top or something like that. They might have rules or regulations around pegs, putting pegs into the sand to hold things down for a marquee, something like that. They might want to restrict your noise levels as well. And you don't want any last minute stress or any trouble right then and there on the day. You want to have had this discussion, know what their restrictions are, and be working within them. It's common that public beaches are not able to be reserved for exclusive use. So, yeah, as I said, this is something that we have to sort of take in our stride with a beach wedding. So, number 3, always have the less than ideal weather backup. If you're dreaming of that cloudless blue sky, of course, me too, but please don't count on it. And, don't leave yourself with no other options. Beach weather, just like anywhere else, can flip from sunburn central to wild winds or even sudden rain. But with this beach setting, that you're wanting, that you're dreaming of, you frequently don't have much protection from the sun, wind, or rain. So make sure you work out a coordinated plan, an indoor option, or an alternate spot, so you and your guests don't have a wet, shivering memory of what was meant to be a beautiful milestone of your wedding ceremony. Number 4, please, please, I know you think it's okay for everyone to stand, but number 4, provide ample seating for your wedding guests. So when you think through it, when you think through that day and consider that many of your wedding guests, I see them. They arrive at the ceremony site somewhere between 15, 20 minutes before the couple getting married arrive, and then they stay, of course, for the ceremony, maybe half an hour, and then afterwards for photos, right? And so it's an hour plus that they're at your ceremony location. They are there waiting, usually without any sun protection, any buffering from the wind. So make it comfortable for them as much as you can. If you offer some benches or seats, whatever suits the style of what you're going for with your beach wedding ceremony, it's likely that not all your guests will need a seat. Usually, and customarily, I guess, immediate family and mature guests really, really appreciate it. And burnt feet from standing on hot sand is not the memory that you want them to walk away with. Number 5, decorate simply and windproof everything. The stories, there's so many things that I've seen, mate. I could just sit here and I could rattle through all the stories. But what you need to know is less is really more at the beach. Because firstly, if you consider most beach settings, Nature has done most of the work for you. That's why you're there. It hopefully looks gorgeous. Beautiful sea off in the distance, maybe a few rolling waves, beautiful sand, a few seashells here and there, some birds, some wildlife. It's all you need. So if you're really wanting to provide any further decorations, you're going to need to make sure that they will withstand the elements. So thinking about that wind, thinking about potential rain and like blinding sun in the summertime. Anything tall, flimsy, not properly secured is bound to end up in the surf, in the air, or potentially hitting other beachgoers. So you're thinking weighted things, well-secured florals, low-line, heavy arrangements. It means they're not going to tip over as easily. Because, yeah, as I said, I've personally and more than once witnessed beautiful arbours, stunning arbours and arches, seating, signing tables, flowers tumble over, roll down the beach just before we start the ceremony, or even as the bride is coming down the aisle. During the vows, all these things have happened, all thanks to a particularly strong gust of wind. You can withstand it for a little while, but you know how sometimes it just does this almighty blast and you get the sand in your mouth and in your ears and things go flying. You'll also need to think about signing your marriage certificates. Will you be doing it there on the beach or somewhere close or sheltered afterwards? While it sounds, I get it, while it sounds wild and romantic to sign your marriage certificate on the back of your new husband, wife, or spouse, the reality is really super awkward. So you might want to have a think about a signing table and a couple of chairs. If you're doing it there on the beach, make them heavy duty. Make them something that won't blow away and have some handy paperweights too. And people are going to have to hold them down a lot of the time so then you can sign them. Also, when you think about the wind, you want to be sure that your guests hear everything. So for me, once you get up to 20, sort of 30 guests, you're going to need a PA because people can't be close enough around you to be able to hear your voices. So a good quality PA, a powered portable amplifier on a sturdy, heavyweight tripod and a microphone with a wind sock, you know, that horrible whooshing sound of wind gusts going through a microphone. You don't want that happening. So you need a little wind sock on top of your microphone. It means that your meaningful words will be heard and the PA will hopefully hold against any wild winds. And you can also play some music through it too. Just gently, of course, you're in a public space. You can't blast everyone away, but, you know, you've got that function there as well. If you had a sweary, chocolate-addicted, wine-sipping fairy godmother who could help you with your wedding planning, what would you wish for? Maybe no more spreadsheets or post-it notes or endless to-do lists. Well, I can help you with all of that. Wedsites is an Australian wedding website builder, guest management software, and wedding project planner all in one. Why is this such a game changer for you? Well, imagine everything to do with your wedding being in one place, updated in real time in the cloud, shareable to anyone else that's helping you, password protected for your guests, with notifications to tell you what needs to be done next and by when. It's amazing, right? To get started on your very own free wedding website, just head to wedsites.com. Or if you want to use Wedsites to plan your entire wedding and not just as an RSVP wedding website, click on the link in the show notes and you'll receive 10% off their paid planning tools. The link is right there in the show notes. Okay, number 6, dress and style for the beach. Now the beach, any beach, most beaches, are stunning, but they can be a real challenge for your style choices as someone who's about to get married, because traditionally things are usually fairly formal, fairly tight, fairly restrictive, and the sun, wind and sand don't play nicely with long veils, heavy makeup, think high heels, restrictive dresses. So you really need to change your mindset around what it means to be getting married on a beach. We need to be thinking about flowing, breathable fabrics for whatever it is you're wearing. Thinking if you've got longer hair, we're thinking updos, naturally windswept styles. So then when the wind does have a go at you, it doesn't look a whole lot different. It's a bit loose. It's a bit tousled anyway. Skip the formal shoes. They just don't work. I've seen some brides in particular try to walk down into the sand in heels, and it doesn't work. So even simple thongs or flip-flops, depending on where you're coming from, they can be a godsend when you're walking from the car to your ceremony space. And if the sand is a scorcher on your big day, some beautiful strappy sandals can look just as elegant as heels, but they let you walk on the sand with some sort of dignity, some sort of elegance, while hopefully not spraining your ankle as well. Okay, number 7, sharing a simple map and other details to everyone at least a week before the wedding. If your ceremony location isn't very embarrassingly obvious, and in my experience, most aren't, they are in a certain spot in front of a certain tree or a certain building along the esplanade, and we're directly in front of that. And then even when you do get there, as I said, plans change. There could be a whole family exactly in your spot, so you're going to have to move along. So if your ceremony location isn't very, very embarrassingly obvious, send your guests a simple map or digital directions via Google Maps, a pin drop, a link to the exact spot. Because a lost guest calling for help 5 minutes before you're due to start is not the soundtrack you want for your processional. Share all the plans, the place, the time, the backup options, directions, any special notes, any special outfits or things like that with your guests and your vendors well ahead, like at least a week ahead of the day. Clear and early information means so much less pre-wedding panic for everyone. Number 8, friendly ushers are super valuable for a beach wedding, and they help set the tone for the day as well. Yeah, it's a bit unexpected, I guess, but I find usually a couple of the young guys, young girls from the family are just given the responsibility of, seeing someone come from the car park and go, yep, they look like a wedding guest. Excuse me, are you looking for so-and-so and so-and-so's wedding? Yes, great. You need to head down there and, if you look down, you can just see where we're set up, but the toilets are up here. So, if you want to go before you go, then you should go. It is a godsend for anyone who doesn't know what they're doing, anyone who doesn't know where they're going, and people who are running late. So one helpful and upbeat usher for about every 30 guests is absolutely brilliant and a very smart way to kick things off smoothly. They should be ready to greet everyone from about 20 minutes before your ceremony start until the ceremony start time. And, they might need to hand out favors or guide people to seats. As I said, direct people to the toilet, maybe answer some questions. And, you put in some laid back, beach appropriate music playing in the background, just loud enough so that you can hear it above the waves, but not so loud that the guests can't hear each other talk or think. And instantly the mood feels welcoming. It feels relaxed because everyone knows what they're doing. Your guests know they're in the right place and you're well on your way to a very beautiful wedding celebration. And number 9, I call them comfort packs. I don't know what else you'd call them, but I guess, they are the beach wedding equivalent of wedding favors. So not essential, but a lovely gesture. And given how tricky it can be to have a wedding ceremony on the beach, it helps with your guest's experience. So making that experience extra special with thoughtful additions. We're not just giving them plastic crap from Temu, But think, little mini sunscreen, or maybe you have cheap flip-flops or thongs there for them to put their feet into. Some bottled water, chilled in ice. Like, I can't tell you how much it means on a 35, 37-degree day to be down on the beach and the couple have thought about getting their guests water. Like, seriously, you can either faint there on the beach in your 40 to 60 minutes that you're standing down there, or you can be hydrated and feel happy about it. Bottled water doesn't cost a lot. It can be something that some of your family members can pull together. They can take it down there. Big bag of ice, big tub, just there, ready to go. Little things like hand fans can be very appreciated if there is no wind. Sunglasses, insect repellent, all those sorts of things can really help. Cool treats for after your ceremony. Think like ice creams, ice blocks, bottled or canned drinks on ice are absolutely ideal, and they make the difference in how your guests enjoy it. And I'll never forget a particular wedding many, many years ago where everyone was left with sunburn and sandfly bites. So, yeah, I know from personal experience that those little touches like the insect repellent, like the sunscreen, like drinks, they go such a long way. And so just to recap, these top beach wedding ceremony tips. Number 1, you're choosing the perfect place at the perfect time, thinking tide times and stuff. Number 2, you're getting permission, whether that's a private beach, whether it's council permission, you're making sure that you're working within whatever rules and regulations they have in place. Number 3, you always have a less than ideal weather backup. Sometimes it's scorching hot, sometimes it's rain, but less than ideal. If you don't want to be standing out in it for 15 to 20 minutes for your ceremony, your guests don't want to be out in it for 40 to 60 minutes to watch you get married either. Number 4, provide lots of seating for those who need it. Depends on your guest list, but please keep in mind that those who have come a long way, those that might struggle to walk, with mobility and things like that, and our mature guests really, really appreciate being able to sit down and enjoy the moment. Number 5, decorate simply and windproof everything. Number 6, dress and style for the beach. Wear an outfit that works with your surroundings and doesn't go against the grain. It's going to help you. Number 7, share a simple map and other details to everyone at least a week prior. Number 8, friendly ushers are super valuable for a beach wedding and they can help set the tone. And number 9, comfort packs are not essential, but a bloody lovely gesture. So I hope this checklist will be your beach wedding planning buddy, because with a little bit of forethought and a relaxed approach, your seaside ceremony can be equal parts beautiful and unforgettable, but for all the right reasons. If you've got a funny story about a beach wedding or a question, then DM me on Instagram at Unbridely. And until next time, celebrate your people. That about wraps it up for this episode of the Unbridely podcast. For the links and resources we mentioned, please head to the show notes. And if you love the show, please review and subscribe on the podcast platform you're on now so you don't miss out on a single episode. Thanks so much for listening. And remember, weddings are a team sport. Catch you soon.